Hi, I'm Amanda Awakens. Today, I want to talk about how we as Black people can take small steps to make big changes in our community, and how we can ultimately begin the process of divesting ourselves from the Black struggle. Everything that I'm talking about today involves the actions that we can take as autonomous beings in order to change our circumstances. And as I said in my previous video, to fully eradicate the social injustices that plague the Black community, it has to be a collective, top-down effort. And at the same time, I also believe that the individual has tremendous power and tremendous potential. And do not forget that the collective is just comprised of a group of individuals. So the first step in breaking up with the Black struggle is to stop actively and intentionally feeding the concept of the Black struggle. And what I mean by that is stop going on the internet for hours upon hours searching for every instance of racism, of discrimination, of just downright injustice that has been inflicted upon every Black person across the world. Now, do not get me wrong. I am not saying become ignorant. I am not saying to turn the other cheek and pretend that we live in a world that is filled only with rainbows and sunshine. But in your constant search for injustice and victimization, don't forget that in this world, there are still rainbows and there is still sunshine. When we overconsume content that paints us solely as victims, we begin to just internalize ourselves as victims. We begin to see ourselves as victims. And yes, there are many historical, present, and I'm sure future instances of victimization that will be inflicted upon us. And it is so important to remember that we are more than just victims. Victims should not be at the forefront of our identity, and it should not be the sole description of our identity. Just be careful with the content that you are consuming and the amount of content that you are consuming. Again, do not become ignorant, but also do not debilitate yourself. The second step in breaking up with the Black struggle is to stop gatekeeping struggle when it comes to the Black community. I think of this so often when I think of our health and our nutrition and even our mentalities. There are so many Black people who are just determined to rigorously and rigidly guard and gatekeep Black culture. And they feel that when you are not living your life, or even just particular elements of your life do not reflect their version of Blackness, then you are either not Black enough or you are not seen as Black at all to them. We have to make sure that we are continuously questioning what are the markers that designate Blackness. And you know, when I say this, so many people think that I am just like rooting for and promoting and condoning assimilation, but it's really not that. I am ultimately just asking for evolution and asking us to let us grow and change and evolve and to try new things and to ultimately become new things, to become new beings. And this leads me to my third point, which is when breaking up with the Black struggle, it is so important that you replace the struggle with something better. And this applies to all relationships. If you end a relationship with anyone in your life, I would hope that you are doing so in order to create space for a better relationship to come along. And that better relationship can even be as simple as a happier, healthier relationship with yourself. So when ending your relationship with the Black struggle, I want you to replace that victimization, that disenfranchisement, that dependency with a sense of agency, autonomy, and just empowerment. For me, what this looks like is doing things that I want to do that in my mind and in my heart and soul feel that are right for me, even if the Black card authorities do not agree with my decisions. Because at the end of the day, how does constantly demonstrating and proving your Blackness actually improve the quality of your life? Does proving to your neighbor that you are legitimately Black, does doing that help to pay your bills or raise your children? Does that help to decrease your blood pressure levels, decrease your risk of heart disease, of diabetes, of dementia, or of any other illness that disproportionately affects Black people? No, it doesn't. But you know what does help to decrease your risk of all of those illnesses? Finding joy and stability and peace in your life, in your mind, in your body, in your heart, in your soul. Doing that will improve the quality of your life. And last but not least, my fourth step in breaking up with the Black struggle is really just a reminder. And this reminder is that empowerment should take place on, but also off, if not more importantly, off the internet. There are so many people who go hard on the internet for Black people, Black business, Black this, Black that. And in their real lives, they do little to nothing to truly support, to truly empower, to truly add vibrancy and life into other Black people's lives. Yes, spreading awareness is so important. That is absolutely so important. And maybe you can't do what needs to be done on your own. Maybe you don't have the resources to fight off all of the injustices that plague Black people, but through speaking out, maybe you can spur someone who can stop, who can fight against these injustices. Maybe you spreading the word, spreading awareness can bring those people to action. But don't forget that there are still so many things that you can actually do in your real life, in your real tangible 3D world. There are so many things you can do to enact change. We can check on our Black friends, our Black coworkers, our Black family members. We can do volunteer work. We can babysit. We can teach lessons on various topics down at the local community center. There are so many things that we can do to enact change that are accessible to many, if not all of us. And we have to stop thinking that these bold, grandiose statements online or, even in real life, we have to stop thinking that it stops with the word. The word should come first. And honestly, if the action is there, the word really doesn't even matter. So we should be prioritizing action and remembering that there is so much that we can do, and we don't have to do these bold, grandiose things to make a difference. We would be so surprised. I think so many people would be so surprised at how powerful kindness, compassion, and empathy, demonstrating those characteristics, demonstrating those traits, you would be surprised at how far that can go to enact change in a community. Please do not forget that the smallest acts of kindness can have a massive, monumental rippling effect. All right, everyone, thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope that you enjoyed, and until next time, stay safe, be well, and I'll see you soon. Bye, everyone.